Chapter 94. You're so slutty. Brother, is it good? Sanchi could not help but ask. He had never eaten worms before. Of course, it's delicious. I think this is the most delicious porridge in the world. My body feels warm from eating it. The person he asked chuckled. His expression was simple, and he revealed a mouth that was missing two teeth. There was also some strange discoloration in his mouth. I can tell at a glance that you're a young master. This porridge probably does not appeal to you, right? But for us, without this bit of porridge, many of us would starve to death. A hunchbacked old woman, who was queuing, sighed. A plague broke out in our hometown. People were dying everywhere. We didn't dare to stay there anymore. We could only escape here so that we won't get killed by the plague. I wasn't killed by the plague, but I almost starved to death. The middle-aged man who had just received the porridge snorted coldly. Then, he said gratefully to the Huan family's servants, "Fortunately, we were lucky to encounter a great benefactor in Silkworm Village. You know, all the villages we encountered previously chased us away." The group of refugees echoed in agreement. They were all grateful to the kind Huang master who had given them porridge. Sanchi was a little confused. Was this Huang master really a kind person? Or was he a demon, or even a stranger being? It couldn't be that they didn't have enough food that they had to catch insects for the refugees to eat, right? Or was it a deliberate act to feed these refugees bugs? According to the energy transmission efficiency of the ecological food chain, although these insects were nutritious, they required more energy to grow compared to producing normal human food like grains. Of course, if these insects grew by eating leaves, then it would not consume much precious resources, since it was very difficult for humans to consume leaves. Sanchi felt that no matter what the situation was, this village was not simple. He looked at the back of the village. Mulberry trees were planted all over the mountains and plains. Some of the mulberry trees had very few leaves. They must have been picked before. Were these mulberry leaves used to feed silkworms or the insects in the porridge? Either way, there was something strange about this matter. For example, why did Master Huan go through so much trouble to feed these people worms? If he was really a kind person, wouldn't he provide actual food? There was only one thing that was certain, and that was that this philanthropist was not simple. No matter what the situation was, he felt that he had to escape. The wind suddenly howled. Sanchi muttered to himself and coughed. I suddenly realized that I dropped something. I'll go back and pick it up. Regardless of whether there was anything wrong with this village, he felt that he should at least set up the resurrection point outside of this place before investigating. Otherwise, he might not be able to come out after entering this strange place. This young man has an extraordinary temperament. He must be a descendant of a large family, right? After taking a few steps, a seductive voice slowly sounded behind him. Sanchi felt that his bones were about to melt. This sound was so seductive that it felt as though no matter how hard steel was, it would be softened by this sound as well. The men who were among the refugees that were beside him were all stunned. Some of them even drooled. Young madam, Isher, young madam is so beautiful." Many refugees, regardless of gender or age, looked at the source of the voice in fascination. Sanchi, on the other hand, felt a pair of eyes lock onto him. He turned around awkwardly and saw the owner of the gentle voice. His eyes widened instinctively. It wasn't because he was frightened, but because he saw a beautiful woman. Behind the steaming big iron pot, a young woman in a snow-white fur coat was walking over elegantly. This woman had a voluptuous figure and was not tall. However, because she walked with her toes slightly swaying, she looked rather tall and had a unique and enchanting air about her. Her face was long and slender, and her pair of slender fox eyes had a layer of pale yellow light. Her brows were filled with love, her skin was rosy and tender, and her red lips were fiery. Her appearance has the power to urge one to become completely enchanted and infatuated with her. Sanchi could tell at a glance that this woman was not human. How could humans possess such strange eyes? Moreover, although the other party's aura was hidden, it was definitely not ordinary. Rather, her aura felt kind of murderous. Most importantly, he sensed danger from this woman. A great danger. He would only feel this way when he met a golden core spiritual master or a martial arts king. He kept his composure and his expression unchanged, Yes, I have some background, but I'm not from what is considered a big family. Young master, it's obvious that your background is not simple. After all, how many men can remain calm when they meet Heu? The young woman pursed her lips and smiled lightly. Her pair of watermelons were clearly swaying, revealing a snow-white color that made the refugees forget about their porridge. You don't sound like a good woman. Sanshi pursed his lips. This woman must have seen that he was a cultivator, so there was no need for him to be secretive about his identity. Kid, what nonsense are you spouting? How dare you slander young madam? Apologize to First Madam immediately. With a bang, many were filled with righteous indignation. In a fit of anger, they smashed their bowls and rolled up their sleeves, wanting to teach Sanshi a lesson. Seeing these guys' eyes turn red, Sanshi's face twitched. Why did he feel like this woman was using her beauty to control the hearts of these people? Everyone, don't be agitated. This young master is just misunderstood. Huan Heu smiled faintly. Her words made the people who wanted to beat Sanshi up stop in their tracks. Sanshi was surprised. From the looks of it, she did not seem to have any ill intentions towards him. I wonder what the young master lost. We can search for it on your behalf. Huan Heu walked over gently. A certain part of her body trembled and carried a strong fragrance. This, forget it, it's only a few thousand taels of silver. Seeing that he could not escape, Sanshi could only give up on his plan. He set the resurrection point at the entrance of the village and prepared to die. He just did not know what this woman wanted to do. If she wanted to kill him, how would she kill him? Would she sleep with him until he died or eat him alive? If it was the former, he wouldn't mind being able to taste this young woman. Young master must be really wealthy. It's just that your clothes are a little inappropriate. Huan Heu's eyes flickered as she sized up Sanshi and chuckled. If young master doesn't mind, why don't you come with me to the courtyard? Our village has been raising silkworms and using the silk for weaving for many years. We have good silk and can make exquisite clothes for the young master. Then I will have to trouble you. Sanshi nodded. He wanted to see the background of this Huan family. Sanshi, who had angered everyone, was actually invited over by the goddess in their hearts. The male refugees were extremely indignant. He probably used to be a rich man's son. He looks like us now. Why did you invite him only? Brother, can't you tell that at least I'm very handsome? Sk. Maybe you're just a silver wax spearhead that looks good but is useless. 1. Many men complained that there were also some who secretly left in the direction Sanshi had come from. Under everyone's envious gaze, Sanshi followed Huan Heu to a unique courtyard in the mountains, with the beauty standing so close beside him and her fragrance wafting in the air. Sanshi looked at Huan Heu's good-looking face and wrinkled his nose. He subconsciously said, "You're so coquettish,